it's seeing smiles on the faces of people that come in here. And you know, when you own a restaurant and a tap house, you're famous in a small town, so everybody knows me because they see me around. So like going out and seeing people and hearing that they love our beer, and it feels really good. And we know we're doing something right. So to me, it's the people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tales, Ales, and Trails. In this episode, we sit down with Craig Davis and Ian Churchill of Thirsty Barrel Brewing out of Penn Valley, California. Thirsty Barrel Brewing took over Bullmastiff Brewing about a year ago. They actually just celebrated their 1-year anniversary of being the new brewery. We talked to Craig and Ian about that transition. We talk a lot about the brewing philosophy and the brewing process that Ian follows as brewmaster. We talk about community. Community in Penn Valley is huge. It's a small community, but it's a tight-knit community. And we talk about how Thirsty Barrel really fits into that. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on all the major platforms. You can keep up with the podcast right here on YouTube. You can do it on Spotify. You can do it on Apple Music. We're pretty much everywhere that you get your podcast. So don't miss an episode. We're coming out with some really, really great stuff. Without further ado, please enjoy our conversation with Thirsty Barrel Brewing. Cheers. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate getting some time to come down here and talk to you. Couldn't ask for better weather, at least this morning. I'm sure it's going to get a lot hotter.
Yeah, sure. It'll get there.
Yeah. How are you guys? How are things?
Doing good, yeah.
Doing good. I could use with the little cooler weather, but we're doing all right over here in Penn Valley.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think we might have to wait a few months for that cooler weather. It feels like we hit that time of year, which is like it's gonna
ramp up.
It's gonna be hot for like the next 3 to 4 months at least.
It's just gonna get hotter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still beer drinking weather, so
Absolutely,
So, all right.
absolutely. Well, guys, I wanted to talk a lot about Thirsty Barrel today. I think where I wanted to start first, though, was getting some background on both of you. Where you're from, where maybe the passion for beer and passion for brewing came in for both of you guys. Just kind of learn a little bit more about your history and your backgrounds.
Well, I'll start with just where Thirsty Barrel came from. I was in the corporate world for 21 years and got done with the corporate world. I worked for Walmart and I was a manager, and I just got burnt out. So here I was on a road trip, and I kept going to my favorite places and checking out breweries and tap houses, and by the end of the road trip, it was a 3.5 month, 4-month road trip all around the United States, and I'm like, I'm gonna open up a tap house. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, yeah. And so I got back and I started the process and the journey of trying to find a place to open up a tap house. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I liked to drink some beer. So that's kind of how it got started, and found a place in Grass Valley. Never been to Grass Valley. And then I get there, I'm like, this will be a perfect tap house. And then I'm like, well, there's a kitchen in there. I'm like, okay, well, I got to have food with beer. And then here we are. It's 9 years later. I have basically a restaurant with a tap house attached, and which eventually led to this next adventure here at the brewery. So, but it's been almost 9 years for the tap house in Grass Valley, and now this is going to be our 1-year anniversary as of probably this last 5 days.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's been exciting. It's been fun. It's been a roller coaster. It's been all above. So
yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. My name's Ian. I'm the brewer here. I don't really have a great origin story of how I became a brewer, but I grew up in the Bay Area, Lafayette. I used to get taken around to tap rooms and breweries with my dad, so I kind of like fell in love with the stainless steel and the smells of everything, and was like, this is pretty cool, even though I couldn't try the product, which I probably would have hated it back then anyway. But
True. Yeah.
so I ended up going to Kansas State University. So I moved out to Kansas, went there, studied grain science, and kind of just started fiddling around with home brewing. I couldn't buy it, so I might as well make it. Ended up making some horrible beer, but it was beer. Then I ended up starting to go to the UC Davis Master Brewers program. I brewed out in Kansas. I brewed the Tallgrass Tap House out there. I've brewed Tower Brewing down in Sacramento. I've brewed for High Water Brewing, then Bullmastiff, and then now we're a little over a year here at Thirsty Barrel.
There seems to be a trend going with stories we hear where we started home brewing, right?
Yeah.
And they always tend to say like those first batches were not it. Oh no, they were terrible.
Well, it's a trial and error process, right?
They're
It
like,
takes
we
time.
drank them, but they were bad.
I shouldn't say this because we're in a brewery that I own, but my first home brewing experience, our second home brewing experience, first one was fine. I forgot to put the yeast in. I totally didn't know what I was doing, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So.
Well, Craig, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the restaurant first and foremost, because my initial experience with Thirsty Barrel was at that restaurant and tap room in Grass Valley, and I gotta say, the food is delicious. And I'm
Thank
not
you.
just trying to toot your horn here. Like my sister and her husband took me out there when they first moved to Grass Valley. They're like, we think this is going to be a good fit for you. We think this is where you would want to go for lunch. It's got good beers on tap, and it's got some really good food. And I love what you said there about having, a restaurant with basically a tap room attached.
Yeah. In my eyes, the tap room's still first.
Sure.
Just so you know.
Sure. But I think part of why you guys have had such longevity for 9 years in that space is that combination, right? That there is a lot of great beer on tap, but there's also it's a really good spot to go grab some good food.
Yeah.
Was when you kind of set out with Thirsty Barrel, was that kind of always how you envisioned things going, of trying to blend, some really, I would say better than most taproom food that I've had.
Yeah.
Because, taproom food can be pretty cut and dry, like
Sure.
your regular burgers, your sandwiches and stuff like that. I feel like there's something that's elevated about what you guys are doing out in Grass Valley.
Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to swing it back to beer again.
Sure.
Whenever I would visit a brewery, I felt like every brewery usually has a distinct taste or, after flavor or whatever I'm trying to say. But, and so like not everybody's into Lagunitas. No offense to Lagunitas. I'm just saying, using it as an example, not everybody's into Sierra Nevada or whatever. So like when I got this place, I'm like, I can have 30 beers on tap. That's how many I could fit in this thing, and have something for every single person, and not just crappy beer. I could have really good quality beer. And with that, I really wanted to elevate the food part of it. I'm like, if we're going to do this, we have to have good quality food, yet still be who I am. And that's a casual shorts, flip-flops most days kind of guy, and drinking a beer. And I didn't want that stuffy button-up black shirt atmosphere. I just wanted good quality food, a good place to hang out, good beer. And so that's kind of where we elevated some of the food a little bit. And, we have gourmet-ish tacos compared to just your standard tacos. Some of the sandwiches are elevated a little bit, and definitely the burgers. So yeah, it had to come along all together in order for it to work. And there wasn't anything like that in Grass Valley. So for me, it's like, it was a win-win. It's like, but I had no clue what I was doing about running a restaurant. Let me be honest. Let me be fair. I've managed a lot of people in my time, but running a restaurant, whole different world.
Yeah.
So
Different monster. Yeah.
I kind of got lucky, I guess, but it's been fun. So
I'm sure there's been a lot of good learning opportunities along the way of figuring that out, right?
oh, for sure, it's a hard industry.
Yeah.
It really is. Just like brewing right now. It's breweries are hard sometimes too. But it can be a fun industry too. So, and it's all about taking care of the people. So,
Customers.
and that's ultimately what it's about. And so,
I think there's something to that where I'm sure all four of us will agree that just the idea of being able to, like, I work during the week, so on the weekend I can go and have a good beer and have a decent bite somewhere on a nice patio or in a nice brewery, right?
yeah.
Just a good establishment. And we've all been to places where the food is, your standard bar food, like he was saying, like your corn dogs, your French fries, everything like that. And you just taking it even just one step further can make a huge difference in like people coming in.
Well,
Like,
it's the difference between people coming and trying it and people coming back.
Yeah, and
Right.
recommending
And
too.
saying like, that's where I want to go.
Mhm.
That's where you want to go for lunch today. Let's go to Thirsty Barrel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they have great beer,
Right.
and they have good food
Yeah.
too.
It's like I've lived up here for 4 years now, and before I even met Craig, I was recommended Thirsty Barrel. It's like, go try it. You just moved up here. Try it. It's the best food and beer around.
Yeah.
I was like, as a beer snob, I'm like, there's not many places around here that you can go and be like, not just your standard 5 beers on tap. It's to go and have a full array of beer menu and sit down, relax. I can sit there and watch a hockey game, and I can enjoy a beer and some awesome food.
Absolutely.
Like I still go there even though I eat the food all the time. I'm like, what do you want to do this weekend? Let's go to Thirsty Barrel. Let's see what's new up there, you know?
Well, let's face it, we like to eat and drink. So
And not to give you too many roses right off the bat here, but the space itself, and I know you haven't been to that space. It's a pretty cool space. Like the way everything's set up, it's just, it adds to the ambiance of it all.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a very cool spot. If for anyone who is in the Grass Valley area or passing through, it's definitely something to check out.
I like the layout of it too. Like you have the whole tap room side, like the bar side, and you have the patio, so you can sit there more like relaxed, casual, watch TV, do whatever. But then on the back side, you can still go and have like a quiet date night without TVs and all those other distractions. Like you can sit there and have a good conversation while also having that environment if you want to mix it up both times too.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you guys still have the like local food trucks in here, right? Or
we have our own food
Your own
trailer.
food truck,
Which is a whole different. Everybody expects the same food as over there here, but I'm working in, or not me personally, but we're working in a space that's half the size of over there, and you can only do so many things out of that little food trailer. But we still want to have some good food here too, and elevated to a little bit of a degree, you know, and not, but still probably more at a lower scale than at Thirsty Barrel, Grass Valley. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So taking that transition from Grass Valley to Penn Valley now, I wanted to ask you, Craig, about the opportunity that came to you regarding Bullmastiff Brewing, kind of how that came to be. Did you always kind of envision, were you always kind of looking at the possibility of owning a brewery? Was this something that always been in your mind? How did that conversation start with Bullmastiff? Kind of take us through that.
Well, no, I never envisioned owning a brewery. I always had in my head I was going to do 3 of the Thirsty Barrels. I feel like it was a good concept and a good theme. But then, you know, I'm a beer guy. I love beer. So I'm like, this opportunity came about. I'm like, I never thought I could even own a brewery, and thought it was going to happen. And me and my wife, we decided to go all in. It started with this guy, though. He's the one that kind of said, hey, just so you know, the old place here that was here before is looking to possibly get out of it. And that kind of started the conversation. And So yeah, the ride was not about the brewery at the beginning, although it was always my dream.
Sure.
So beer, like I have a logo up there that says "Beer in a Dream," and or a slogan, I should say. So
right here it says beer in a dream.
so it just became, well, let's do it. Let's figure this out and do it. And probably the wrong time to try and get into the brewery industry, I would say, with all of our
rough time.
a rough time.
time.
Not
Yeah.
not there's never
Never a wrong time.
never a wrong time. My wife might say differently, but but it's been fun. It's been hard. It's been challenging. It still is every day, but we're getting great feedback, and we're getting our legs under us now, and starting to get more and more accounts. And I feel like the sky's the limit. It's just up to how much and how willing we are to put into it,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I will say when I stopped in here a couple months ago, that you guys have great beers up there, dude. That the Schnitz and Giggles is
That's a really good beer.
top notch, man. I love that. I was blown away when I tried that.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
we give great feedback from that one.
Yeah.
So
That beer kind of just randomly came about. We're like, hey, I have a pitch of lager yeast that we kind of need to do something with. It was like,
Yeah.
what do we not have on the board? And I was like, well, we're just like phasing out our red ale, and was like, let's do a Vienna lager. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Let's just throw something new up there and see how it goes. And that beer turned out amazing. So we're
So
really
good,
stoked on
yeah.
that one.
The Where's Dennis as well. Your IPA. Oof.
yeah,
Crisp, dude.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a one-off, and now we're brewing at batch 3 next week.
yeah.
Like, we've gotten some good feedback that it's going to be a little mainstay for a little
It's
while.
named after one of my friends and our local barfly, so to speak. A beer geek.
Yeah.
Well, not really beer geek. He just likes
He
beer.
just likes beer.
Yeah. So like, I'm like, we're going back and forth with names, and of course, every name you come up with, it's always taken and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and it's more challenging, probably finding the name than it is sometimes to get the beer.
Like, I'm texting Craig, I'm like, hey, this beer comes out in an hour when we open, and we still don't have a name for it.
So then I'm like, well, what are we gonna call it? And then I'm like, let me think about regulars. And like, I thought about Dennis, and then somehow Where's Dennis popped up, and it stuck with all of us. We're like, because if you know Dennis, he's a jokester, and so yeah, he came in. Sidetrack, we got sidetracked here, but he came in, and he didn't know we named a beer after him, and we had it done in the AI and did the Where's Dennis, Where's Waldo. Had him in the Where's Waldo outfit, and he came in and saw that we had it on the TVs around here, and like he saw his name and saw the beer, and he got a little teary-eyed, I
He did,
think.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
but that beer is stuck.
Yeah.
Customers love it. They may not love the name as much as they do the
People get a little
beer,
confused about the name.
but we know the name.
Yeah.
We love the name. So
Who's Dennis? No, it's Where's Dennis.
yeah, well, we feel like we can have a whole line of Where's Dennis? WTF Dennis?
Hell yeah.
This just characterizes our friend Dennis.
A Dennis line. I
I
love
love it. Dennis
I
line.
love it.
Yeah.
We've talked to breweries we've talked to owners that have done similar transitions as you guys have before. I'm thinking of Woody's Brewing up in Reading,
Yeah.
of the new owners taking over there.
Mhm.
And I always feel like it's an exciting time, but it's also a very interesting time, right? Because you have people who were Bullmastiff fans,
Yeah.
who knew the brand, knew the beers, were kind of accustomed to, that kind of style and certain things that were tied to that brand. As you take over, and you already have some name recognition, being Thirsty Barrel and having Thirsty Barrel in Grass Valley, which is,
True.
a stone's throw away from here. So it's probably not as difficult to come in because you're somewhat of a known entity. But I want to ask about what the transition was like, about coming in, taking over, what the reception was like. I know Ian, you haven't been here before, and so what was it like, kind of making that transition from Bullmastiff to Thirsty Barrel?
Yeah, that's a good question. At the beginning, I didn't know. I contemplated keeping the name and just building off of that, because they already had something going. And I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to tie it into Thirsty Barrel at the other location. And so the transition really just became going through the process of, do I keep the name? Do I go with a totally different name? Do I rebrand the whole thing? How do I want to go about this? And then at the end of the day, it was more like, I already have the name recognition down there. I love my name. I love the brand. Although we tweaked it a little bit for the brewery, it's still in the family, and it was what was going to work best for me and for us. And we wanted to be our own place, and speak to our own beers and his recipes that he didn't get to do before. And we just wanted to be who we are. So yeah, that transition was more like, let's play off of that. Let's build off of the brand that we currently have over there, and then let's build something new and exciting. For Penn Valley doesn't have a lot here. If I don't know if you've known Penn Valley or been through it, but there's not a whole lot here. So people want something that's cool, exciting, and different. And so for us, we redid the place here. Paint. Thank you, Ian, for painting a lot. You know, the wall over there with the wine staves, and just we made it more of who we are. And then we changed the beer. Started with here's our core beers we're gonna do. Let's start transitioning into doing some one-offs here and there, and that's kind of where we're at, and just still growing with it. And we're getting good feedback. But yeah, the transition was all the above. Like, you know, for a long time, I was gonna keep the same brand and same name and just build off of that. But it wasn't ultimately what I decided to do.
I would think that if you chose to like keep, maybe I'm wrong, but if you chose to keep just the old name and everything, keep it going, would there be pressure to like keep the same beers and recipes like going? Because I feel like that changing it and getting just your name, your original name on there, gives you like more of like just a fresh palate, just a
definitely
clean slate. So like,
I mean, having like the Bullmastiff, it's like they already had their core set of beers. So
Yeah.
I feel like if we did end up taking that, it'd be really hard to take that brand that was already built with their, 5 core beers.
right.
And then if we wanted to change them, that's a huge, like, say someone goes out and buys the same beer every time, and then all of a sudden, what the heck is this? This is a totally different beer.
Yeah.
Probably would throw some people for a loop on those.
Yeah.
And, giving us the fresh start, it's able to try the new recipes and figure out what people are liking and stuff. We've definitely had a few people that, come in and they're like, hey, what happened to this recipe? Like, where's this one going? I'm like, well, if you like that one, try this, trying to
More often than
shimmy
not,
around.
though, it's the
Yeah.
other way around. Oh, I love this beer. It's,
Yeah.
there's a lot different than before. So like, and no fault to the other beers. It's just
Sure.
I think our conversation when we started was, and like, he was with Bullmastiff before, and that was a decision I wanted to keep him on board and be a part of this, building this process. I think it's exciting to do that with somebody that has the same passion I do, and excitement to get something new going.
Right,
And like, a conversation was like, I want you to use your own stuff and pull stuff out of your hat that you'd never tried before or wanted to do, and let's experiment. And let's get into the nuts and bolts of it, and find out what's going to work for us. So
Yeah, everything that you've been just saving in the back of your mind.
Yep.
He said, get mad scientist about it. Go.
Yep.
Go.
I have just books of recipes that I've made over the years, and I'm like, let's try them out.
Well,
hey, we got this. Let's
but
do
then
this.
I'm like, I'm also at the other side of it. I'm like, Where's Dennis was supposed to be a rotating IPA, and then I'm like, it's selling really well. It's gonna be like a thing. We got to keep it. So like,
And the brewers over here like, hey, we should do something new. I got a book of recipes.
yeah, I'm looking at the numbers though.
You've been strong armed by the customer.
Yeah.
And I actually did. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your approach to brewing. You talked a little bit about it there, but obviously you've had the opportunity to work at several different breweries. I'm sure that's influenced how you go about brewing. when you're looking at, making something like Where's Dennis or something a little bit more experimental, what's the approach for you? What, I guess the question is always a weird question we ask folks, but I think it's a fun one. When you're making a beer, what are you hoping for people to get out of a Thirsty Barrel beer? What kind of experience? What do you want them to come away with after they've had one of your beers?
That is a good question. Jeez. I mean, my beer influence has been, I've kind of gotten different bits and stuff from everywhere I've brewed on them. I mean, when I was brewing in Kansas, they're not big on IPAs out there. Like, we'd have one on tap, and like our biggest seller was a pale ale and then a German Pilsner. It's like, that's what they liked. They didn't like anything heavy. And then when I moved to Sacramento, I'm an IPA guy, so I'm like, I really liked how they were doing it and stuff, and figuring out what people enjoy now. I mean, the beer market's changing every single day, which is hard. I mean, it kind of helps when you have a tap room up there that has 30 different taps. You can see what styles and what similarities beers that are selling up there has. Like, if you have Breaking Bud that's selling really well, and, like an Altamont IPA, those are like, the newer school IPAs that are way less malty with big hop bombs to them. So you're like, okay, if those are selling really well, we should make our own, our beers that are, similar to those, but with our own fling to them. I always just like people to enjoy them, and I always try to make it not just a simple basic IPA or lager or everything. I like to have layers of flavor in there. I always like handing somebody a beer and they taste it and they're like, oh, I get this note. And then they're like, but wait, 10 seconds later, there's a different one. And they're like, I really like how that is layered up together.
Yeah.
Instead of just, oh, that's a IPA type of thing.
Yeah. My favorite beers are the ones that each sip, you can find something different, something new. It's always, you love a good standard IPA, no frills and stuff like that. But the stuff that, like you said, has those layers, really becomes an experience all in and of itself.
Yeah. That's what I was saying about the Schnitz and Giggles.
Yeah.
When I tried it, was first sip, I was like, wow, that's really good. I'm sitting there talking, I take a sip, the second sip, and I'm like, well, that's really good. I'm like, but like different things going on. I was like, I love those beers that make me question, like, did I taste something different like the first sip?
Right.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy because we always say this, there's like, with brewing, there's like an artistry and a science. It's like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And when you have a product that different people taste different things and hit those like layers of notes that you were talking about, it's really special when you can see them get it and you're like, yeah dude, yeah.
That's good.
And candidly, you brought down the Lunchbox Lager.
The Lunchbox.
And that was delicious. Yeah. And I haven't had any beers from Thirsty Barrel beyond the Lunchbox. So I feel like after this, we might have to go taste a few. Just to get a, for some context for the episode, for some research. We talked about this at the beginning. You guys just hit your year of being Thirsty Barrel Brewing here in Penn Valley. I wanted to ask both of you what this first year has been like. I'm sure, with the brewery industry as it is, like you said, there's ups and downs every single day, but what's this first year been like for you guys?
I mean, it's been super exciting to see, when we started out, it was busy because we're the new spot in town. Right. So everybody gets to come in here and try everything out. And then as time goes on, it's like, we have the ups and downs, it's a holiday weekend, people get out of town or people come in. But it's been really cool to see, like last night I was here just with my wife and we were like, let's go grab a beer at the brewery. And being able to see like a huge community that has come in here and fully embraced it is awesome. Like you sit there and you leave and you're like, leave with a smile. You're like, wow, this is really, really cool to be able to see that. Definitely a lot of ups and downs with trying out new things and a lot of learning experiences. He has, the whole business background with the restaurant and all that, but there's a lot of things that we have sat down together and we're like, wow, we didn't know that there was this much that went into owning and running a brewery. That's like, I have, been the brewer or a head brewer for, years, and it's like, I didn't know we needed to do this on paperwork or this, and being able to find those little things to do has always been a challenge, but it's an amusing challenge at the same time.
A what?
An amusing challenge.
Oh, for him it is. For him it is. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely, second what he said about it's been exciting for sure. And it's fun. It's still all about, for me, having a place that people can enjoy and beers that people can enjoy. So that part of it's super exciting for me. If I were to put 2 words into the first year, it would be challenging and exciting, all lumped into one. So, lots of learning curves right now. I'll be honest, we're getting our feet running a little bit, and we struggle to keep up a little bit with, the beer. And so with that part of it's been, that's a good challenge because we're getting more beer out there. But at the end of the day, we got to figure it out and get it right and get to the next level. And so that's where we're kind of at right now. And it's like any business, it takes a while. Yeah. Takes a while to get it going. And over here in this space is a little challenging because of where it's at. But now that we're getting our beer out there more, people are starting to come in from outside of the Penn Valley world, and so we're doing good. We just we got to keep going, and a lot of hard work. A lot of my wife will tell you that I don't sleep as much. Sometimes she's laughing over there. So sometimes not a good thing, but in end of the day, we're having fun with it, and we're making sure that we're getting the product out to our customers that are loving our beer. So
usually the things that produce the most excitement take the hardest work.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Also, I will say, even though this location, tucked away, it is still right off the highway. It was very easy for me to find my first time here.
Okay.
So
that's good. That's good. I can't put any billboards out there, so it's not, it's like, that's been a challenge too. But there is supposed to be a holiday market going in on the other side of these buildings here, hopefully in the next year or so. So we're excited about that because we know that will drive some business and foot traffic in this area. So
yeah, that's cool. 100%. One of the notes that both you guys hit on, and I feel like, all 40 or however many podcasts we've done at this point kind of always get to this at some point.
Yes.
Just talking about the idea of, the good breweries make good beer. The breweries that have longevity, that stick around, that have a meaningful role in their communities are the ones that make good beer and create space for people to come together, make memories, enjoy, a cold beer with each other. I think that's so important. And I think it's especially important in an area like this where, like you said, Craig, there's not a ton else happening in Penn Valley. Or Grass Valley for that matter. Grass Valley is a little bit bigger, but it's still not a huge metropolitan area. I just love that concept. I love that both you guys touched on that, because that really feels like at the end of the day, that's where the impact is. That's where it becomes meaningful and special to a community when you are intentionally, providing a space for folks to come together, have great beer, but also make great memories.
We always talk about the word origin of the word pub, right? Yeah. Public house and everything. Well, back in the day, it wasn't just a place for people to come and drink good beer. It was people to come and congregate, and that's where a lot of ideas were formed. We're at pubs and stuff like that. And that community aspect has been always at the forefront of those great establishments, I think.
Yeah.
And it's you can go into a place and it can have great beer and great food, but if you don't feel welcomed in there, if it's not a good environment to hang out, I don't really plan on going back.
Right.
It's I enjoyed it the one time I was there, but I'm I don't have that, I don't want to bring my wife and kids here. I don't want to have that weird feeling of ugh, it's
and
I want to be able to come and talk with people and hang out and enjoy everything.
And that's what I felt coming in here my first time. I was I'm a hockey guy. They had hockey on the TV. the beer was great, but I felt that like I had a great conversation with the
Beer
tender, yeah, and he gave me a bunch of information and everything. It's so cool, just like a good experience on top of the great beer.
That welcoming atmosphere.
And that's what made me come back to Nick and be like, dude, we need to go here. It's really cool.
Well, and on the flip side, if you don't have that welcoming atmosphere, that's like you said, you aren't going to get people coming back. And so, like, yeah, we wanted that vibe. We wanted a cool, welcoming vibe at our brewery. So, yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you guys about what's next, and I know it's going to be a very open-ended question. So take it whatever direction you want to take it. But where do you see Thirsty Barrel Brewing going from here?
That is a loaded question. I will not say I'm opening a third place because my wife is right on the other side of this wall. But no, just joking. I want to make sure. So the one thing about this industry right now, like I said, it's, the prices have gone up. Everything's challenging from a standpoint of payroll, prices, grains, tariffs, all that stuff. Everything's cans, beer industry components that are going out of business, and it's just a challenging world. So for me, I always looked at it from a standpoint way back when I started Thirsty Barrel. I see all these breweries come and go, and I don't want to be one of those guys. So I want to take it slow. We had a meeting yesterday with our staff, and we talked about, as much as I want to push more beer out to the community, like, let's get what we have right first before we go to the next step, and not take it to a bigger level than we can control, because I think that's when it gets out of hand, and you are going to lose those customers at some point because you aren't doing the right way. So
I think that's another one of those like environment things too. Like if you stretch yourself too thin, and you have accounts out there that say, I don't have a batch ready in time, and they need that beer, that puts a sour face on them about us. And it's like, then they're not going to want to come and hang out at our environment because we're not able to provide for them on those terms.
So I think for me, the next phase of this is getting what we have going right, and continue to keep it right, and then building off of that and getting to the next level from there, and then continuing to challenge him to get some new beers out and keep it exciting for our clientele we already have, and then just keep growing. So, but I don't ask me a year if that third place will come, getting a shake, no, but it's just right now we want to make sure this is right. So
that's good. One of the last things I had for you, I wanted to ask you guys regarding this first year of the brewery, and I think probably even in a larger sense, what has filled your cup the most about this experience? What has been the most rewarding thing for you guys in moving down this path?
I'll let you go.
I don't know. The day I always think of for that is like our grand opening day. I mean, all of us were standing at the bar and we're like, holy cow, there's a line outside. Like, this is weird. When we were remodeling and everything, we had paper up on the windows. Like, we had the doors shut so nobody could see what we were doing in here with the paint and signs and murals and stuff. So it was really cool. Like, we were sitting there talking, and it's like all of us kind of got a little teary-eyed because we're like, we've been working on this for months. Like, he'd been working on it for probably a year before that, and it's like doing the construction and all that stuff, getting it done, and then finally being able to let the community in and like try the product, try the food. Like, that was a huge moment, like in my mind, of this is awesome. Like, great feedback. People were happy that people were coming from, up in town, and there's people that came up from the Bay Area and Yuba City and stuff to come and check it out. And I was like, that was a full cup moment for me on those. I like, That's my day I think of.
Um, I mean, ultimately, to me, it's seeing smiles on the faces of people that come in here, and you know, when you own a restaurant and a tap house, you're famous in a small town, so everybody knows me because they see me around. So like going out and seeing people and hearing that they love our beer, and it feels really good, and we know we're doing something right. So to me, it's the people, and then also my staff too. You know, I feel like I have a great group of people that surround us, and that's important to me too. So I definitely have to have the right people that help build what you're growing.
And it's
So-
nice being able to like wake up in the morning. You're like, I get to go to work today. Like,
Yes.
it's a good group of people
Yes.
to enjoy. And it's like, I'm right there on the other side of these. It's like, I can hear everybody talking, and Craig's working in there. So it's like, we can hear all the feedback that people have. And it's always nice. Like, I'm cleaning a tank and there's people talking. They're like, wow, this beer's really good. And it's like, that's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, getting to go to work, that idea, it's just like, it's crazy because it doesn't make the hard days easier.
No.
It doesn't, but it makes the easier and rewarding days better.
Yeah.
Like more worth it, I would think.
Yeah, 100%. Before I let you guys go, is there anything else that you wanted to add about Thirsty Barrel? Anything else you think might be important? Anything you want to plug? Basically,
all.
the floor is yours.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not really gonna. I'm not gonna plug it. I mean, you guys have helped us by being here, so we appreciate that. But I would say, you know, we have a lot more to offer, and I think the sky's the limit for us. You know, one of the things we haven't talked about that we are doing that's getting really good feedback is we do a cider here, and it's a blackcurrant cider, and it's actually right on the top of with the rest of our beers as far as how much it sells, and in the community it's like really well received. We can't sell it here because of ABC rules, but you know, I could sell it out to the rest of the world, and so I'm excited to see where that goes, that part of the business. It's fun. It's a fun place to be. It's a fun industry. You know, I'm excited to work with this guy and keep growing our beers and making this place even better. So I'm excited for you guys to try some beers too.
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
we're looking forward to that. Can't miss for sure.
Yeah. That's
One other little story though.
Please.
So when we started we started basically January 1st, actually took over this space. I mean, it had gone on for months before that, but we actually got in here and started. And like, I always joked with them that we'd get I'll get you a tattoo after a while, and I'll pay for it. And, you know, and then, so 1 year after that, he had this tattoo artist come through and set her up over here. That was a traveling tattoo artist. And so we
ended up getting Thirsty Barrel Brewing tattoos.
I saw those. I saw those.
Ian's branded, so we aren't like Yellowstone like yet. And he's kind of stuck here a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
So if you leave, we take you to the train station.
yeah. Well, we hope that doesn't happen. You know? So yeah, but no, it was cool. He was excited about it, and I think it's kind of bonded us a little bit. So anyways, he may have to get a cover up someday. I don't know.
It's on there for life now.
But yeah, no. I'd love to have you guys try some beers. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys. This has been
Thank you so much.
fantastic. Congratulations on 1 year. And again, yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Thanks you guys for coming out.
Here's to many more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.